Is Three Strikes the greatest game mode that has come to Apex Legends? Yes. Yes, it is. This is the most fun I've had at Apex in a long time, and maybe even ever, to be honest. And with all the sweats in the lobbies, you still can have some pretty banger games, and that's coming from someone that solo queues and doesn't have a consistent party to run with, like me. I really wish this game mode was here longer than 2 weeks because it's going to be so hard to go back to playing pubs and especially ranked. And honestly, I think it's going to be the same thing for a lot of players. But for those that either don't play the game and or have been under a rock the last week or so, Three Strikes is the current LTM or limited time mode that arrived with Apex Legends' first iconic collab with Post Malone. There's also some pretty good cosmetics in the shop, which also included a new skin rarity called Iconic. And if you play Fortnite, it's pretty much the same with the content creator skins and emotes over there. Same color and everything, now that I'm thinking about it. Well, but the way Three Strikes works is you and your squad have 3 lives each, aka strikes. And if you all die 3 times each, then you are eliminated from the match. This does change once round 5 closes because at that point, like it'll only be like one circle left. So at that point, everyone will be pretty much locked in on the last strike. And this is even if you haven't died the entire game. Like once ring 5 closes, like everyone's strikes are disabled. So you die at that point, you are eliminated from the match. The revives have been cut down to like a little second, or maybe it's like half a second or something like that. But basically, it's a super fast revive, and you can pretty much do that shit like right in front of someone. Like, there's so many times I've played so far where I've literally read someone right in front of a team as they're literally shooting me, and I get the res up, and there's even been some clips where me and Durandos will continuously just keep resing until we finally kill the team. It's actually kind of crazy. Any teammate that gets knocked though, they basically become invincible to getting thirsted or executed. So like once you get knocked, the other team can't thirst you, they can't execute you, they can't do anything like that. And you have unlimited health, so you can't bleed out at all. So a lot of times what'll happen or what I'll see happen is if 2 of the teammates get knocked and the third isn't there, or they'll try to run and hide, and basically they'll try to like wait until it's like a safe time to get your teammates, because again they don't bleed out, so you never have to worry about a timer, you never have to worry about anything like that. So 9 times out of 10 you can eventually get your teammates up, but in my opinion and depending on the situation, it could be best to just take the L and just go ahead and die. Like you would take a strike, but at least you can like come back into the game and try to fight again. So speaking of that, that's what I was getting. The next point is once your whole team dies, you respawn into the game. Like you'll come back into the game skydiving, and you actually get to come back with all the loot that you had when you died. So this includes shields. This also includes like whatever evo damage number you were on that shield, you'll come back with it. So if you had a purple shield that was like 200 away from red, if you die, you'll respawn, you'll have that purple shield with the 200. So you can like instantly land on the ground, do 200 damage, get red. Like it's actually pretty crazy. The only exception to this is care package weapons though. Like if you have a care package weapon, you won't respawn with those. So it's kind of risky to pick one up, because if you die with it, like let's say you pick up a wingman or a prowler, you die, you only come back with your one regular weapon, so you'll have to hit the ground and pick up another weapon and all that. But with all that being said though, you can see how this game mode is arguably, but in my opinion, it is the greatest game mode to come to Apex. You basically get into the game with your team, like whether you're squatted up or with randoms, and you have 3 lives to basically do as much damage and get as many kills as possible. Like that alone already made the game mode super appealing to me, at least, because I always love to play pubs, and I usually always go into pubs, try to do as much damage and get as many kills as I can. So this game mode is literally perfect for me. The only thing though is, because I know there's people out there that tries to like badge grind or whatever. This game mode, you can't badge grind for like the 4K badge and the 20 kill badge. You can get some of the badges though, because I've been able to get like win badges and like some squad wipe badges and stuff like that. But basically for the 2 badges that everyone cares about, which is the 4K badge or the 20 kill bomb badge, like you can't get those badges in this game mode. But for any of the people that love to like get kills and stats, which is, you know, I've been trying to get into. Any kills and damage you do in 3 strikes, it does count towards your character stats. So just me saying that alone, you can probably understand why there's so many sweaty people in your lobby. So if you do play this game mode, you're like, damn, like every game it's like prayer stacks or it's like a super sweat in the lot. Like it's probably someone that's grinding like kill and damage stats, or probably even grinding for like experience to get their account level up and shit like that. Like, so I'm not gonna lie, like even me, like I don't get to play the game often, so I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm a kill stat person, but I do love to try to work on like kills and stats, and I've been having a lot of fun with Conduit. So yeah, this game mode, it's crazy. But even with all the sweats and things like that, it's still such a really good mode, man. Like, and truthfully, it's such a great change of pace from like the regular battle royale pubs and definitely ranks, and the possibility for getting like super high damage and high kill gains just go up exponentially. Like, no matter what your skill level is, like you can be just starting off the game, you can be like casual, you can be kind of mid tier, like especially if you're high tier. Like I feel like any skill level player can get into this game mode and have like one of their best games, or just continuously have like really good pop off games. So, but speaking of new players, I honestly see this as being a good mode for trying out new characters too, or maybe if you've always had a character that you wanted to try but never just, you know, had the time, or felt like regular pubs just wasn't a good place to do it for some reason. Like this would be a good game mode, because like again, you come into the game with 3 lives and you can do as much damage and kills as possible, which also means there'll be plenty of opportunities for you to try out characters, for you to try out some strats and tactics and things like that. So to me, it's just a really good game mode overall. Like it's super fun for like getting as many kills and damage and just limit testing and things like that, but it's also like a good way for you to maybe try out a character or characters that you haven't played before, and maybe even switch your main, or you know, just have more characters to play. So if maybe your character gets picked, you can switch to somebody else and just not be a one trick. But yes, but with all that, bro, can we talk about the maps this season? Like I know it's kind of stepping away from the game mode, but bro, I don't know who started cooking with the revamp for Stormpoint, but bro, Stormpoint is a goated map right now. And that's coming from someone that hated Stormpoint. I legitimately hated Stormpoint. Like, I hated it for pubs. Like, I can admit that I always said it was a good map for ranked, but I absolutely thought this map was complete dog shit for pubs, like, because it just felt like looting and running simulator if you didn't land in like 2 areas. It just felt like you was just running and looting the entire game. But like, just speaking aesthetically, like the map just looks very beautiful. Like the color of the sky, like the changes they made, it just looks better. But then they added all of these POIs, and if you know what I mean when I say this, it kind of feels like the map isn't as big. Like, even though they literally didn't change the size of the map or anything, it just feels like now it doesn't take forever to get to a POI, or it just feels like it's so much faster to, you know, get to from one fight or to find a team to fight or something like that. And especially in 3 strikes, like it seems like there's just always nonstop action all the time. Broken Moon and Olympus, I don't think they really changed anything with those, but it, like, even 3 strikes, those 2 maps just feel like really good to play. Like, it just seems like the map rotation this season so far is like really good, and I did not think to say that, especially considering that Stormpoint was in the mix. Like, I absolutely hate Stormpoint, and now it may be one of my favorite maps in the game right now. But, and it's also good because like there's so many backwood POIs that no one would ever go to regularly, but because of like 3 strikes, you could be in freaking, you know, bumfuck nowhere on Broken Moon, and it'll just be team after team after team, like flying in or pulling up because a whole humongous fight just broke out. And honestly, those are like the most fun in the game mode. Like when it's like 3, 4, or 5 teams, and teams keep getting wiped out, but then they just keep dropping back to try to get revenge or whatever. It's some of the most fun and exciting time in this game mode. Like, literally, bro. And like I said, I think I mentioned it earlier, but that's one of the main things I really like about this game mode too. Like, it feels good to me personally because I feel like I can limit test and go into every game and just see how good I possibly could be. Like maybe if I was a more aggressive player, because I do kind of have a tendency to like maybe run away from a fight or back off of a fight that maybe I could have fought. So even though 3 strikes is maybe not the best place to try to learn about tactics and stuff, I also feel like it could be a good place to learn about tactics because you'll be more aggressive because you have lives to work with. Like it'll let you know like, okay, like I did good in this fight because I was aggressive, or I did bad in this fight because I was aggressive. So maybe this fight in a normal game I wouldn't push, or you know, maybe in a normal game I should push a fight like this because it seems like, you know, I may be good enough to win it, or if my team's there, like we could actually win this fight, you know, get the team out. So it's just thinking about things like that. So I know it's kind of getting technical again, where the point of the game mode is basically just go out here and fry with your squad and just kind of go crazy. But I like to kind of think of stuff like that because I feel like it'll help me become like better at the game, try to improve, you know, whether it's my gunplay or even just my game awareness and just stuff like that. Like I feel like it's a great game mode for me, and I feel like it could do the same thing for a lot of people. But the main objective is just to have fun. Like it's just a really fun game mode. You just go in and get as many kills as damage as possible. So just go in there and go crazy, man. And like I mentioned earlier, the big fights, man, when you are in those fights, it's so exhilarating. Like the heart gets pumping, the blood is flowing, like. And if you win those fights, bro, at that point, just go ahead and beat your chest, let a primal scream, like do whatever, because at that point, you are him, you are her, whatever. Like you are that guy, you are that girl, because those fights, I'm telling you, it could go from like 2 or 3 teams to like 8 or 10. It feels like you're fighting literally half the lobby because everybody can just keep coming in. So I know it's probably sound like I'm a broken record at this point. I don't really know what else to say about this game mode other than it's just super, super fun. And to me, it is definitely the greatest mode Apex has released. Like, it's been some good LTMs and it's been some good game modes, but to my opinion, this is probably the most fun I've literally had, like, probably since I first started playing the game. Like, when I first started playing with my boys, like. And honestly, I might be having more fun now than even then, and that says a lot because there's nothing like playing a fresh new game for the first time with the boys, and you know, even if you're trash at the game, it's just different. But this game mode, I'm just like, bro, like it's just so good. And you know, I'm not gonna sit here and say that 3 strikes needs to be a permanent game mode because I feel like if they did that, then at some point the mode would probably start to get stale, or people would start to do some devious stuff. Like I mean, y'all know how I go, man. Whenever we get something good in any game, like eventually people or something will mess the game mode up, or maybe they'll try to do too much and mess it up. So I'm not gonna sit here and say that the game mode should be permanent, but I would definitely love to see this reappear at some point in the future, or maybe if they do like some more iconic collabs or something like that, maybe bring this game mode back. But I gotta say, man, like I definitely do not say this often, but Respawn cooked with this one, bro. They cooked with this one, like. And honestly, I feel like we really needed this because of how last season was kind of going, and to me, the game kind of felt stale. So even though this event is only lasting 2 weeks, I really feel like Respawn did their thing with this. And so hopefully they keep stuff up like this, man, because this is a pretty good event, and like even the stuff in the shop doesn't feel like it's overly expensive, like the iconic skins and stuff, and they're actually really good skins, so definitely check that out as well. The only thing that I kind of need Respawn to do now is like maybe they'll go ahead and finish up that cross progression thing, like because I do want to get a PC at some point. I would love cross progression to be fixed by the time I get a PC. But while I'm on the PS5 and like the Xbox X players or whatever that new Xbox is, like, can we finally get that 120 FPS upgrade? Like, we've been waiting on that shit for what, like a year or 2 years? But you know, that's besides the point. The bottom line is though, 3 Strikes is a great mode. To me, the greatest game mode that Apex has released. It's super fun. If you haven't played it for some reason, like, what are you doing? The game mode has literally been out for over a week. Like, I'm super late in getting to this video, so like, if you haven't played the game mode, bro, like, go play the game mode. Like, I promise this will be the most fun you will have in Apex, whether you play solo queue or with friends. Like, I promise you, this will be some of the most fun you've had in this game. And I honestly just kind of feel bad once this game mode ends and it's just back to regular pubs and ranked and mixtape all over again. But Anyway, man, I don't really have anything else left to say, man. We just gonna let this gameplay run out, but you know, if you made it this far in the video, man, just leave like a 100 in the comments or something like that. And yeah, this is one of I think this is one of my earlier games that I played. I had a lot of good games, but yeah, man, just go play the game mode, man. If you haven't played it, go play it. If you are playing it, let me know how you like it, man. Do you think it's the greatest game mode to pop up in Apex? And if you don't think it's the greatest game mode, then what do you think is the greatest game mode? I'm curious to hear what y'all say, but with all that said, man, I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace.
You are the Apex champions.